Well, Ray Shaw, it only seems like yesterday that I was chasing you around this beautiful Kramer Street ground. Is it nice to be back?
Oh, fantastic, Phil. It's very much like Victoria Park. You walk through the gate and something hits you. Tradition or whatever it is at Preston and Collingwood, it's just, been most of my life.
Yeah, there's a beautiful symmetry in all of this. You're a northern suburbs boy. You waltzed in here as a senior player virtually in 1973. You won the Liston and ended up at Collingwood.
Yeah.
Take us back to 1973. What was it like in the old VFA?
Oh, look, it was unbelievable. Every game was a highlight in the sense that, there's no easy games. And just the thinking about who played in those days and who you played against. I was a local boy who come from, as you say, from Reservoir and played in the Diamond Valley, and unfortunately got an opportunity to come here, and all of a sudden you see the Harold Martins running around, the Freddie Cooks running around, just icons of the VFA. I remember I think it was in my second game here, I got belted into the defence, and I don't forget who it was against, but I got up and I was, just as I said, belted into the fence. I got up and I looked behind me. Here comes Bert Thornley, Bobby Island, and Harold Martin coming in to protect me, so I felt all right after that.
Well, it was a great year for you, as a 19-year-old to win the Liston. Did you think you had a chance?
Oh, look, in those days I was just wanted to play for Preston, and I didn't worry about all the glories and the awards and things like that, and it really only probably hit me probably 3 or 4 weeks before the count. Mike Sheehan wrote a story in Inside Footy that he thought I'd win it, and I don't know where he got the votes from or something like that, but that's really the only time I thought about it, yeah.
Well, Ray, if the Liston wasn't good enough, it was off to Collingwood. You became a captain of the club, you won a Copeland Trophy, and you played in 5 grand finals, 4 losing and 1 drawn. That must have been hard to take.
Yeah, look, that's probably something that you don't like to have on your CV and things like that. But once again, as I come to Preston, as I went to Collingwood, fortunately enough, I did all the training at pre-season at Collingwood, and I was picked for the first game. Something that I wasn't even expecting. And Neil Mann came up to me about on the Tuesday, said we're going to play this week, and I, fortunately. Or unfortunately, I didn't have a very good pre-season because I hurt me back and that, but they were just happy to put me in the side, and that was the way it went.
Well, I suppose, Ray, in what I'd describe as controversial circumstances, you left Collingwood and you crossed to Preston.
Yep.
It's 1982. They've played in the 1981 grand final and lost under Harold Martin. What drove you to Preston?
Well, first of all, I was very surprised that I did get the axe, but that's in the past, and Tommy thought I'd slowed up because I did my knee during that year, and I did end up playing the finals, but he decided that time was up, and I think if the coach decides that, you're gone. So and look, probably people say I was silly, but I could have gone to Essendon or North Melbourne to finish playing AFL or VFL in those days, but I'm very loyal to my mates, very loyal to Collingwood, and I kind of said, well, no, I don't want to do it. And Pat Abbott knocked the lifts and knocked on my door and asked me would I be interested in coaching.
All right, so the story goes on. You get into the grand final, you're the absolute favourite, 1982, Junction Oval, playing Port Melbourne, and they bowl you over.
Yeah, they bowled us over 3 times during the year, nearly around about the same score, just once again, an arch-rival situation.
And you won the flag the next year against Frankston. Did that erase a lot of the bad memories, and did it, as a person and as a bloke, did you feel a lot better that you'd actually got a couple of flags?
I suppose I didn't have much time to think about it, in the sense that, Preston was such a powerful side, and I think the thing that got in my mind that we gave Frankston 5-goal start and beat them, probably by 6 in the end, but the monkey was off the back a little bit, I think, in those regards, yes.
But also our players fought it out very well too. We fought hard all year, and we deserve it, I think.
A great performance. Well done, Preston.
Just looking back at the Collingwood days and this symmetry again, your brother Tony, Copeland winner twice, premiership captain. Where were you when he was in the room singing the Collingwood song in 1990?
Well, matter of fact, I was 1990, I was sneaking into the members at the MCG because I'm one of those people who don't like sitting with, say, Collingwood crowd. I'd rather watch the game and see how it unfolds, things like that. And I think by the time I got there to the rooms, they were pretty all hoarse. They couldn't talk or anything like that. So, but I
Was
felt
it a remarkable moment for you to be with your brother, him doing what you'd always treasured and never able to do?
And I've got to be honest, I felt a bit jealous.
Really?
You know, yes, I did. I can honestly say that because I'd been through it, haven't been able to do it, and all of a sudden, not out of the blue, but all of a sudden the Pies and Tony being captain, a great captain, a great leader, he'd done it, but the jealousy took about 1 minute, and the rest of the night was all his, and Collingwood was fantastic. Yeah.
Well, you got 2 sons with Collingwood, Heath and Reece. Are you a good footy dad?
I think I am. I keep away. I suppose in a quiet way I give them advice. You know, I always, if I don't talk to them on the day, I always send them a message saying, play smart, play close, good luck. They're the things I say to them because, you know, all week they've got it in their ear, the coaches are saying things to them, and I don't want to get their mind off that.
Well, what about your old side, the Bull Ants? They look a certainty to make the grand final. If they did, would you be excited?
I would be. Yes, I would be. It's a long time, you know, 84 was the last one. It's a long time ago, and I think Preston and Carlton have, you know, there's been a few ups and downs over the years, but I think they've sorted everything out. And what I've seen Preston 4 or 5 times this year. They play terrific footy and they play as a team. And it's being amalgamated, you kind of think, is it going to work or not? But this year it certainly has worked, and they've been super impressive every game that I've seen.
Give us one great memory from football to finish us off, something that you will be telling people forever and a day, the grandkids or whatever. Is there one moment that really sticks out in your mind?
Yes, it was at this ground. It was a Thursday night before the Geelong West Grand Final. I asked Teddy Whitten to come down and talk to the boys, and Teddy, you know, great man, you know, great friend of mine. He said, yes, I'll come down, and, you know, we trained, and, we got Teddy early. He come down about 4:30, and I was in plaster because of my broken leg, and Teddy spoke to him, and I said to him, before the talk, I said, I want you to get stuck into Jeff Austin because he was our big trump, and his form hadn't been too good, and I said, Teddy, just get stuck into that big bloke, and he did, and Tex's eyes were totally out of his head after the talk. I said, right, fellas, thank Teddy, yep. Let's go out on the track. We all ran out on the track. I ran out in the centre of the ground and I stood there. I had a broken leg. I don't know how I got out there. He just motivated me as a coach, motivated my players, and a couple of days later we won it. But it's greatest. It's one of the things will always stand in my memory, how I got out on the ground with plaster on.
Well, Ray, it's been an absolute pleasure to catch up with you again. All the best to you.
Thank you very much, Phil. It's a pleasure.
Good on you.
Thanks.
Terrific to catch up with Ray Shaw. Great interview, Phil.
He's a lovely man. I had the pleasure of being captain coach against him, and he was such a big name to come to the VFA, you know, and he got those 2 flags. Geelong, he lost to Port, one Geelong West, one Frankston, and it was great to see him do that, you know. Lovely bloke. I really enjoyed him.
And I think we might have had a shot of Reece Shaw in his arms there at that grand final in the 80s.
Isn't it remarkable? The child there, it must have been Reece, as you said, you know, before we came on air. Isn't that a lovely picture to have of a family setting, you know?
And just quickly, the 1990 story you told. I'll tell you another quick one about 1990. About an hour after the final siren in 1990, the Collingwood people looked around the room for the Premiership Cup, and it had gone missing. Yeah. The reason it had gone missing is because a young reporter had grabbed the Premiership Cup, run out into Yarra Park to do a live cross into the news with the Premiership Cup. That young reporter's name was Eddie Maguire.
Of course you would. Of course you would. And wasn't that lovely for Ray to say that he was jealous for a moment? It just crossed his mind that he'd lost it, and he spoke so affectionately about his brother Tony too. So what a great football family, and his father was a great player at Brunswick. So there you go.